Hello, adventurers! My name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 18th episode of our background series. Today we have a very special treat in store for you as we are going over another one of the Acquisitions Incorporated backgrounds. I'm actually really a huge fan of these. I think mechanically they're kind of meh, but I don't know, I just kind of like the way they read. I think they're Acquisitions Incorporated, the book, if you don't have it already. I'd highly recommend getting it. I just like the way they phrase everything. It's a good example of how to do almost a light-hearted or slightly goofy kind of campaign. I'm always laughing. It's really good stuff. In any case, today we're going to be taking a look at the Failed Merchant, which doesn't really sound all that heroic or adventurous or fantastic. It kind of sounds like a bummer, in all fairness. But in any case, let's move on to its description. Maybe you come from a long line of merchants. Perhaps you are an entrepreneur. Regardless, your ventures ended poorly. Whether it was because of outside influences, bad luck, or simply because your business acumen was weak, you lost everything. Kind of like a sucks to suck kind of description, almost. I don't know, it's really fun. Might lead your character to have some problems in relation to substance abuse, and might lead to them having a almost manic demeanor, but who knows? It's kind of up to you and your dungeon master, right? Now let's take a quick look at its mechanics here. Its skill proficiencies are investigation and persuasion, which are certainly both helpful. Under tool proficiencies, you have one type of artisan's tools, which is nice, and any one language of your choice to boot. So you kind of have all three there. It's really nice when you see that. Under equipment, one set of artisan's tools, merchant's scale, that's like weigh things out and stuff. A set of fine clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 GP, which puts it in line with the average. Now let's move on to its feature. This one is called Supply Chain. From your time as a merchant, you retain connections with wholesalers, suppliers, and other merchants and entrepreneurs. You can call upon these connections when looking for items or information. I really love this. I genuinely love this because it's kind of like a quest machine when you really think about it. So, for example, if you wanted to find a certain magical item, you would kind of phone up your network, however you want to do that, and you might have one person who's like, I do actually have a decent amount of information related to this item, but the thing is I'm gonna need you to do something for me first to make it worth my time. And that'll lead into kind of a subplot or side quest, as it were, to make sure you can earn their favor. And as you do so, you might be able to build yourself up back in society and maybe give being a merchant another try, or maybe just become a full-time adventurer, who knows. It's really good, and it's pretty applicable at almost every level and amount of fame and renown. And based on how well they do on said side quest, you could limit or maybe even give them extra information that they were asking for. Very cool stuff overall, I do like it. Now let's move on to some suggested characteristics here. For the personality trait, I went with the customer is always right. Under ideal, I put redemption. Too many people consider me a failure, so I need to prove them wrong. And this pertains to really any alignment, depending on how you read it. Under bond, I owe a dangerous person a lot of money. As long as they're happy, they let my debt rest unpaid. Very cool stuff. And under flaw, I find that most people are trustworthy. Hey, where's my belt pouch? And that's a good example of the humor that's in this book. Overall, I think this very much is a very archetypical kind of pseudo entrepreneur or maybe young entrepreneur, very focused on customers, which is actually like a very strange North American thing. It's not like that in most of Europe, Germany especially, and then the ideal and the bond might kind of play into each other. For example, your bond could kind of look down on you and think that there's no way you're ever going to pay them back, so they kind of just wrote it off as a loss. Maybe they're a family member or something of that nature, so you feel the need to pay them back just to prove them wrong about you, to prove that you can make something of yourself. And under flaw, most people are trustworthy. Maybe you got taken advantage of by a business partner, maybe a customer took advantage of you, maybe even sued you and kind of framed you for selling faulty goods, kind of a snake oil peddler, and they collected whatever assets you may have had as collateral payment. There's really just a lot you can do with this from a Dungeon Master's perspective. Now let's get on to my personal thoughts. I really like Acquisitions Incorporated in terms of the style of play that they have and the style of world building that they typically go through. I really like businesses, I always have, and all of my campaigns, my characters, very much a salesperson or a businessman. This really works well with that. A lot of these backgrounds found in Acquisitions Incorporated do kind of play to more corporatist roles, so it does make sense. If you're planning on picking this background, or really any of the Ac Incorporated backgrounds, please do run it past your DM, because they might need to make some pretty significant changes in terms of the world, or even prepare documents and read up on how to incorporate a business and best business practices, things of that nature, depending on how far and how detailed they want their world to be. In any case, I really like it. Mechanically, it's not the worst, kind of a meh, but in terms of roleplay and potential plot hooks, this has got to be one of the best ones we've covered so far. In any case, let me know what you think of Failed Merchant down beneath in the comments section. Be sure to mention any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns you have regarding it. And of course, if you'd like to get access to your own free one-shot, please check out the Guild Hall and use code WELCOME to get your hands on it. In any case, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy adventuring.